Hey guys, what is up? Happy Monday and welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome back. Also, if you're just returning. Alright guys, so I was supposed to make this video on Saturday, but we didn't. I'll explain why in a second, but back up for a little bit. For anyone who hasn't seen my last video, I'll just give you a quick summary. So on Friday, I made actually two videos. The first video I made basically was like, hey, I'm back. So I started making content in January. I decided I was going to be a content creator and I made 5 videos, disappeared for like a month for no reason, and then I decided I'm going to start getting back into this, so I made a video saying, hey, I'm back. And then the next video that I made on the same day, on Friday, I basically was just saying, hey, like I have some pretty exciting news. The news was that me and my husband and some of his family are actually traveling to the Philippines in about 7 weeks, so we're super excited and we're just trying to get our life together before we go on this vacation. So I thought it would be perfect because I was like, oh, we have exactly 50 days left until this vacation, so I'll do the trending 50-day challenge, the Project 50. It's very popular on like Instagram, TikTok, and on YouTube, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And then in that video I was just like saying, okay, here's basically what it is. This is what I said in that video. I said, okay, so in tomorrow's video, which was Saturday, I will explain more in detail. I will break down my whole 50 days and then I'll just kind of vlog every single day from then. So that's where we're at. So why didn't I vlog and make that video on Saturday? Well, on Friday night I couldn't sleep very much because I just couldn't get comfortable and I knew my period was coming. It was about 4 or 5 days late, so I was just like annoyed and stressed at that moment because I'm just like, I don't want to keep wasting pads. I don't want to keep waiting for this thing. Not to mention, the later she comes, the more messed up it will be during my vacation. Anyways, so I wake up at 5 a.m. because my period decides to come then. She always decides to come like super early in the morning. It's very inconvenient. It's annoying. Anyways, so I had something planned for Saturday morning. I was supposed to meet up with a friend who was visiting for the weekend, and that was like the only day I could really like hang out with her. So I'm like really cranky, really in a lot of pain, and for those of you who don't know, I have adenomyosis, which is basically a very painful PMS condition. You can look it up if you want. I was like really frustrated. I was like, why do I have to cancel everything? Like this period really wrecks a lot of things in my life. It's very inconvenient. I actually was able to reschedule for later, which was really nice, that I still got to hang out with my friend, catch up. It was really great. Other than that nice moment with my friend, the whole rest of the day, the morning and the rest of the day after were just a mess. I was a mess, just in a lot of pain, just cranky, and I am so glad that I have a very patient husband who loves me and puts up with anything I throw his way. I love you, Andrew. So Sunday comes along, I'm pretty much the same as Saturday, just like a mess, like in a lot of pain, just haven't eaten for the last day or two, and I'm just, like I said, I'm just a mess at that point. So that's it. That's why I'm making Saturday's video today. So instead of the 50-day challenge, it's more like the 47-day challenge because obviously we started off a little bit rough, but that's okay. And like I said, I don't really want to make my period my whole life, but it just happens to be a big part of my life at the moment, just because, like I said, it impacts me a lot, and I'm working with my doctor to try and like fix it naturally based on like lifestyle changes. So we're working on that, and we have a plan, and we're gonna meet back up in a couple months, see if it helps. So hopefully I can get this kind of under control because, like I said, I don't want it to be my whole life. I don't want to talk about my period every single video I make, but it just happens to be such an inconvenience and always gets in the way of everything that I'm trying to do, especially when it comes to this content creating stuff. So with all that out of the way, and we're not going to talk about periods anymore for the rest of this video, hopefully. I don't know, we'll see. So I'm going to get straight into this video where I'm going to break down the 40-day 7 challenge. That doesn't sound as cool as the 50-day challenge, but we only have 47 days left until this vacation, so I'm gonna roll with it. Okay, so I'm gonna explain the 50-day challenge, the Project 50, a little bit before I go down into my own version of it. Basically, from my research and from what I found, it was created by State of Mind Studios. So basically what they did, from what I understand, is they had looked at a bunch of successful people and found similar habits that everybody had, and then they kind of made this little challenge It's a lifestyle challenge, and they have 7 different rules that you should follow every single day for 50 days. If you do that, basically they say that your life will be unrecognizable, you'll develop strong and healthy habits. So we're gonna go through their rules before we go make our own. The first rule they have here is to wake up before 8 a.m. and they have little side notes, which is like make sure you have a minimum of 6 hours of sleep and try and be consistent with your sleep schedule. The second rule here is to have a healthy morning routine that's 1 hour and has no distractions, so not to be on your phone or anything like that. The third one is exercise 1 hour a day. The fourth rule is to read 10 pages a day of any kind of motivational, psychological, or business educational book. The fifth rule is you have to dedicate 1 hour every single day to learning a new skill. I think that one's going to be challenging because does that mean you have to get 50 different new skills? The sixth rule is to have a healthy diet. Don't drink alcohol, soft drinks, and less sugar. So the seventh rule is to track your progress in some sort of journal, vlogging, or like on social media. You're going to basically just track the positive and negative experiences you're having, what you've learned, and what you need to improve on. Just do that every single day. And then lastly, it's just you need to make sure that you commit to these 7 rules every single day for 50 days. Now, one thing I don't like so much, they said that basically if you mess up, if you missed one of those rules of the 50 days, then you have to start over and like completely, like if I messed up on day 30, then you have to go all the way back to the day 1. I just don't think it's very realistic. I mean, we're all human, right? Like if you make a mistake, like why should you have to start over? Maybe this is just my opinion. It might not be the most popular opinion, but I don't think you should have to start over just because you messed up. I think it's better to have a mindset of, instead of, oh, I messed up, I need to start over. I messed up, let's make sure that tomorrow is better. And that's just my opinion. I just don't think it's a good idea to just be like, okay, scrap everything, we have to start over because we messed up. I think that's a little bit too hard on yourself and maybe not the best mentality to have, but maybe I'm wrong. And if you guys disagree or if you agree, let me know. Like I would love to hear what you guys' thoughts on that is. But basically that's their rules. So when it comes to this 50-day challenge or 47-day challenge in my case, I do want to change things up a little bit and be a bit more specific. So instead of just having these basic rules, so I actually wanted to take the time to actually go more in detail of everything so that I can be a little bit more organized and that I can have a higher success rate. At least that's what I think will help. So in my last video, I talked about something that I'm doing is I have 50-day challenge, and then I've broken it down into 2 parts, which is the outcomes that you want from the 50-day challenge, and then you have your actions that are necessary for this outcome to be reality. Okay, so here's my paper. I have my 50-day challenge, which I crossed out and put 47 because I kind of missed a couple days involuntarily. And then here I have my category where it says desired outcomes, and then I have my action steps here. I'll share a couple with you guys. So when you're writing down your desired outcomes, make sure you're very specific, which is something I talked about in my last video. The more specific you are, I think the more likely you are to have success. I have be more physically fit and strong, and then more in like brackets, I have like visible ab, lose some fat and gain some muscle. And then in action steps for that specific outcome that I want, I wrote down workout routine. I have like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm going to do at home workout, which will be just like things that are easy to do at home using my body weight. And then I go to the gym with my husband usually Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I didn't go today because I'm on my period, but Monday, Wednesday, and Friday I would usually go to the gym with my husband. We work out and he shows me what to do. So, and then other than that, just focusing on eating healthier diet that will help me with my fitness goals, drinking water, getting my proper sleep and rest. Another goal that I have, or a desired outcome, is actually to learn Bisaya and Tagalog. So my husband is Filipino. The national language in Philippines is Tagalog, but my husband's family's dialect is called Bisaya or Cebuano. So by the end of these 47 days, I want to have more understanding. that's a goal of mine, is to be able to have a basic conversation. I don't really know how much I can learn in 47 days, but we will see, because I'm going to document that and I'll make a whole episode just dedicated to that whole journey, because it is a journey in its own. So the action steps that I need to take for that one is specifically, I have made it a goal from now on. I'm going to start practicing with my husband, and he's going to start, questioning me on vocabulary and sentences. But the other thing I'm going to do is actually spend 30 minutes every single day and try and learn on my own through YouTube. Another thing on my desired outcomes is confident freedom. Now, if you don't know what that is, that's fine, because I kind of made it up. So I have this idea that if you get to a certain point where you're just really confident, you gain a lot of freedom. And I think anyone can agree with that. Anyone who is super confident doesn't care what other people think, does what they want whenever they want. My point is, when you're confident, you have a lot of freedom. So here's an example of that. So when I go to the gym with my husband, I walk on the treadmill, and I do it for like 30 minutes, and I'm on the highest incline, so I'm like sweating up a storm. I'm listening to my music, pumping me up, and I talk to myself when I'm on the treadmill. I'm like always telling myself, okay, like it's okay, one more minute, like we got this, we're halfway there. Like I'm always talking to myself just to kind of reassure that I don't give up. I don't know, it helps me, it helps motivate me. So every single time I get to the end of this, like when I finally get to the cool down where I'm done my timer, all I want to do is like throw my hands in the air and just like congratulate myself and be like, yes, I did it. Like that's all I want to do. Like I think it'd be so fun to be able to be confident enough to do that. Like obviously I don't do that, because that's why I want to work on my confidence. Like it's just little things like that where like I have to just bottle that feeling down, because I'm like, okay, I can't do that in a public space. Like what would people think of me? So I was just thinking like, how nice would it be confident enough to just be able to be yourself without thinking about it, like without restricting yourself, and just purely like flow into life with yourself, I guess. And like just the freedom you would have. I was talking about this with my husband, and he's someone who's very confident, and he was saying, yeah, being confident really does give you a lot of freedom to just be happy, do what you want, not really caring what other people think. And honestly, when you're confident, you have probably less anxiety and issues about that. So yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to be able to work on my confidence to the point where at the end of 50 days, I want to be able to the gym when I'm done my workout. I want to be able to go, yes, I did it. That's my goal. Maybe to you guys it might sound silly, but to me it's a big deal. How I'm gonna do that, the action steps I'm gonna take, is actually something I saw randomly on, I don't know if it was on TikTok or something. It's called exposure therapy. Basically, people go around exposing themselves to their fears, to their like whatever it is that makes them have anxiety or worries, in order to like overcome that. So I was thinking, well, maybe if I did that too, it could work. Where if I expose myself to situations where I'm feeling anxious, where I'm worried, maybe it would help me to be less of an anxious, worried person, and I could work on my confidence that way. Because how many times I'm in the gym and I'm like, oh, I just want to like talk to this person here, like this girl in the change room. She's like, oh, like like she looks fit, and I'm like, I want to ask her what her workout is. I want to ask her like where she got her leggings. Those kind of stupid questions. I'm too scared to do it because I'm a scaredy cat. I don't like to talk to people, because what if they think I'm being rude? What if they think I'm judging them? Or what if, like, I don't even know. There's always what if. My brain runs on what if. It doesn't run on the positive what ifs. Like, it's like, but what if she ends up being your friend? What if it ends up being a really good conversation? Like, why can't I think that way instead of this way? So that brings me to the next one. Is on my desired outcomes of the 50 days, I want to become more of a happier, positive person more naturally, because I think at the moment I'm wired to think more negatively. My thoughts are always, first thing is the worst case scenario instead of like the positive one. So I would like to rewire my brain to be more positive, happy, and less stressed. So on that matter, similar to the exposure therapy, I will also be doing like practice gratitude every single day, making sure that anytime something negative comes, I should probably try and think of like 3-to-1 ratio, or maybe even more. I don't even know how much much it's gonna take. And another thing I thought of, it's kind of random, but I was thinking maybe once a day I will like put on some happy ABBA music and just like have a little dance party by myself. Like, it's so simple, like small and simple things. I think it might make a big difference. So we're gonna practice happiness, gratitude, and see where it gets us at the end of 50 days. Another thing I have on my list is I want a glow up, and what I mean by that is I want to have more clear skin by the end of 50 days. Now, I don't know if you can tell, like obviously I have makeup on and the light gives me a nice glow, but I do have quite a bit of acne underneath. You can see some of them, but by the end of 50 days, hopefully by working out, eating healthy, drinking water, sleeping, being more happy, less stress, I feel like it's kind of like it's a goal that will kind of like happen on its own if I follow the other steps. So the glow up is like, you know, have better skin. I think taking better care of myself hygiene wise. Like, I don't ever do my nails. I usually rip them off when I'm nervous, when they get too long. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just start like shaping them and painting them just to keep me from ripping them off. And just like small things, like maybe doing a hair mask here and there, and just being a little bit more invested in those kinds of things just for fun. And then another thing here I have is financially getting there, which can look very different for every single person. For me, that simply just means a little bit less debt and a little bit more money in the bank. So I don't really have a job right now. I'm looking for a job. So that's the action step, is to get a job and then maybe do some side hustles just to try and get things organized, and then obviously following a budget and planning. So that's some action steps there. So there's a few other things that I want to get out of this 50-day challenge. Like I said before, me and my doctor are kind of working on some lifestyle changes that can help with my period pain. So hopefully in the next 50 days I can work on those things and it can help. I don't know if it's too short of amount of time to really see a big difference, but who knows. I'll probably do a whole episode journey thing based on this whole period issue, just because maybe someone out there is struggling with the same kind of problems that I have, and something I'm doing could actually help. I'll probably make an episode on every single goal, just short videos every single like week to kind of update on that specific goal. So every day for the next 50 days, I'm going to try my best to vlog a quick video of kind of like me in that day, my thoughts, my feelings, what I learned, what I overcome, those kind of things, just kind of like documenting that every single day. But then I was thinking for every single goal, I'll make an episode where every like week I'll do an update on like that specific goal. So if you're more curious about a specific goal that I have, you can just wait for that one to come out. Or if you want to watch the whole thing and follow along the whole process, you can also do that too. But that's kind of my plan, how I'm going to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to get a big poster board and I'm going to divide it into like 47 or 50 days, whatever. And then I'll organize myself. And yeah, so hopefully this video was somewhat entertaining, and if you guys are interested in doing a 50-day challenge, highly recommend trying at least. Make sure that, you know, you cater things to yourself and to your own life, because everyone's different. And that being said though, don't be afraid to do things that are hard. Just because some of the rules seem like they're really hard doesn't mean it's impossible, so also keep that in mind. I would just say, just be careful about the whole starting over every single time you mess up. That would be my only thing that I don't really like about the program that they have, just because I just don't think it's very good mentally for most people. I would just say just be careful about that one. Just make sure everything is catered to your lifestyle, because you don't want to overwhelm yourself either. I don't think this program was made for making people miserable or making people feel like failures or anything like that. I think the intention was it's made for you to challenge yourself and to improve your life. Yeah, so if you find yourself doing this challenge and you are not happy, you're miserable, you feel like a failure, if it's doing anything negative, maybe stop, take a break, readjust the rules, readjust what you gotta do to make it work for yourself. You should still be challenged. But yeah, so I'm going to go write this all out on a poster board. I'll show you guys that later when I get around doing it. Anyways, bye. Thanks for watching.